Hi everybody, this is Amy Merrell. I am here to remind you about Asynchronous Fridays. At the beginning of the school year, we had it established to have early dismissals on Fridays, so that way we could alleviate and get some of that curriculum development that we needed to do for our remote learning and in-person instructional days. So instead of the early dismissals, we have now moved to asynchronous Fridays 2 times a month. So we have March 12th and 26th, April 9th and April 23rd, May 7th, and May 21st. In-person Sullivan County School District students will sign in for morning attendance with their homeroom and first period teachers. This is just like we have done on other remote learning days. And we have in-person NTCC students will check in with Mrs. Koshak between 8:30 and 9 or 12:30 and 1. That again has not changed. Google Classroom assignments must be completed and turned in accordingly. Again, that has not changed. We have teachers available via email during regular school hours, and we have teacher office hours, and any needed Google Meet links are posted in your Google Classrooms. Just a reminder about assignments and consistent structures that have been in place all year. We rolled out our remote learning via Google Classroom, where assignments can be pushed out, students can complete those assignments, teachers get feedback on the assignments, and students review the comments and resubmit. So that allows us to have a learning continuum even when we need to be remote. Google Meets are great for live meeting opportunities, and you need to watch for announcements for any unique meeting opportunities in ClassDojo or in a Google Classroom stream. Students have Gmail accounts, and they should be checking their Gmail multiple times a day. It helps with that learning continuum. Whereas in the classroom, we're able to just stop in real quick if somebody has a question. We can't do that remotely. So it is important for students to be able to check that Google Gmail. And of course, guardians might need to check and help with the younger children or kids that aren't quite working independently with those sorts of things. Reminder that all children fall differently when it comes to remote learning. Everybody has different needs, everybody has different abilities and dependents and independences. So you have those smooth kids that just got this, let them roll with it and continue on with your day. You have the kids that might need a little bit of help, kind of fall in between. And then of course you have the kiddos that just cannot do this on their own and they are setting up red flags every which way. That could be due to age, it could be due to ability, but it also could just depend on subject area or stress levels for the day, things like that. Sleep, getting up on the wrong side of the bed, that all affects us all. So when you have a super dependent child, just some strategies to be reminded of. You can help and log in as your child from another device or even with them with their device. And you can help them bridge that gap of dependence that they're really relying on. Building routines and things like that are real important for parents to get involved with when it comes to super dependent children. When the independence is starting to build, it's okay to help them continue to build that. So if you know that they can try certain things on their own, give them that leverage and give them that ability to try some of those things at home. You might need to sit on their own, and then you might need to sit side by side with them for other things. You can put them in the driver's seat for sure, though, for some of those kids where the independence is building. You can, as far as independent children, let them fly, let them work on at their own pace. A lot of the older children are definitely much more independent, but you might need to keep an eye off the back end somewhere. You could be emailing or dojoing with teachers, just monitoring class stories in ClassDojo, or watching some of the Google Classroom things from afar, monitoring through Plus portals for grades, and also looking at Google Classroom reports as they come in. Teacher hours. Teachers will be in the buildings for regular school hours during these asynchronous days, and they'll be available for email questions and things like that during the school day. They also have office hours posted in their Google Classrooms where kids can pop in and into the live meet and pop in, ask any questions they have, and pop right back out. So those are available for all students. As far as contacting teachers when you do need help, one of the easiest ways to do that is to send a private message right through the Google Classroom assignment. It's an option when you bring up the Google Classroom assignment. Up on the upper right-hand corner, right below the assignment, is a place for a private comment. And when a student sends a private comment, the teacher will receive an email directly linked to that assignment. So there's no guessing games. You don't have to figure out what activity the child is talking about and that sort of thing. And likewise, the teacher will do the same thing in return and be able to allow for that communication to go back and forth. Students and parents can also, of course, send Gmails detailing any specific needs that any kids need, and they, of course, can request a Google Meet if they need specific assistance or guidance. That is definitely reasonable, and of course we would meet with any kiddos that need help with anything specific. If you have any supplies at home, anything that needs to be returned, if you are in person, you'd be able to bring it back with you, but if you are finding Chromebooks, charging cables, or even books or materials that belong to the school, with all the back and forth, it is really difficult to kind of keep that in check. So if you are finding things around home, feel free to send them in. If you're a remote learner, send them in with the bus drivers, but if you're coming back to school on Monday, just make sure you're bringing those things in. If you've had a Chromebook damage and you've had it replaced and you find an old charger at home, we could really use those. With all the situation this year, some of the technology is almost impossible to replace because so many districts are in need of these supplies and the back orders are ginormous. So if you do find extras at home, please send them back. If you need help on these remote learning asynchronous days, I have set up some of the help support materials that have been created throughout the year that have answered a lot of questions on our SCSD website. So all you need to do is go to the SCSD website at selcosd.k12.pa.us, go to the Administration tab, and click on Temporary Virtual Learning. And this will show you how to do that. Website, Administration, down to Temporary Virtual Learning. And it will give you a lot of the information, the video how-tos that have been presented throughout the year for families that have come across specific questions. It's kind of like a frequently asked question and answer page for you. Of course, if you have any other questions during these remote learning days, feel free to contact teachers if it has to do with the actual learning materials and things that are produced through Google Classroom. If you have any questions as a family or if a specific student need as far as remote learning and helping to meet their needs, please feel free to contact me. I can call or Google Meet with you, your family, and help work out some situations of any kind. And of course, Mr. Mavis is available for any technical support that you might have run into. And last, of course, thank you. Thank you for your continued support. We would not have been able to get through this school year if we weren't working together. So thank you very much.